to school. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Antony.
Today is September 11th, and we have day one of our biography lesson for this month. And today, we are talking about Makoto Shinkai, Anime Master.
Yeah, 又到了我们人物传记的单元了。我们今天要介绍的是大家非常非常喜欢、脍炙人口的一位动画大师，就是我们日本新生代的动画大师新海诚 Makoto Shinkai.
So, in America, today people like to use the word anime, but growing up, Americans did not like anime, this word. They were really nervous about it. There was a time Japan was very wealthy and they had a lot of money, and Americans were very afraid Japan would buy everything.
Oh.
So young children like me in the 1980s liked Japanese animation, but our moms and dads wouldn't let us buy anime. So they would call it Japanimation. And if you called it Japanimation, it was okay. But if you called it anime, it was too weird. Isn't that a strange thing?
老师都提到说，当初在1980年代的时候，其实那时候呢，日本它其实有一段非常繁华、很有钱的这种时代。那很多时候在美国，如果说今天听到说日本可能那么有钱嘛，可能会买下很多美国的东西，所以大家对于 anime 这个字是抱持着一种又很喜欢，但是又有点害怕它会就是等于是把所有美国的这些产业啊、卡通啊，通通给吃掉的这样的一个心态。
Yeah, I always thought anime and Japanimation looked cool, but our moms and dads wouldn't let us watch it. They were like, no, you can't watch that. Okay, so.
助长外国势力。
All right, let's hear our article, and when we come back, we have our subtitle and paragraph 1.
Makoto Shinkai, Anime Master. Makoto Shinkai is leading the next generation of Japanese animation. The animated films that he has created over the last 20 years are some of the most popular films of all time. Shinkai was born in Nagano Prefecture in 1973. Growing up, he always had an interest in manga and anime. After he graduated from university in 1996, he took a job with a video game company. He worked there for 5 years. During this time, he also produced animation on his own. In 1999, Shinkai released She and Her Cat, a 5-minute animated film that won a number of awards. As he started making his second short film, Voices of a Distant Star, he received a grant from another company. So Shinkai quit his job with a video game company and began to work full-time on producing the short film. Over the following 10 years, Shinkai produced 2 more short films and 4 feature-length works. In 2016, the movie Your Name made him very famous and successful, and critics began to compare him to Spirited Away animator Hayao Miyazaki. Shinkai doesn't take his fame seriously, though.
Okay, Anthony, let's start with our subtitle today. The Japanese filmmaker creates a different reality.
好，我们来看一下我们的副标题哦。他说 The Japanese filmmaker creates a different reality.Different reality 就是不一样的现实，所以如果各位你有看过新海诚的这种电影的话，你发现到说等等，它看起来那个很多的背景啊等等，都跟日常生活中看到的很像，但是又多了一点梦幻感，所以有一种不一样的现实。这个 reality 就是 real 加上 ity 这个字根变成现实这个名词。
So pick up your pen and underline the word filmmaker. F-I-L-M just means movie. Write that down. This is a Japanese movie maker. And you're right. Just like Anthony said, it's like a new reality. His movies are very interesting because he is an excellent artist. And he doesn't want to create something really new. He wants to look at our world, but through like a cartoon. And I think that's pretty cool.
事实上它里面呢，我们后面会提到说，它很多的这些动画内容，它的一些场景都是由现实生活演变出来的，甚至还包含它的这个家乡长野县。那这里的话，我们先知道一下，这样就可以了。
Okay, so Anthony, before we start paragraph 1, I want to ask our question for today. Did you have a favorite anime growing up?
我自己以前最喜欢的动画，我觉得 Spirited Away 是我相当喜欢的一个动画电影。
I remember watching that in the movie theater. That was really special. The movie actually broke when we were watching it. We were watching it, and then like the film broke.
What?
And then they started at a different spot, and I thought maybe the story was just confusing. But we missed like a big chunk of the story. It was when he went to the bathhouse and he's trying to give the money. It broke there.
Okay.
And then later I was like, what? So yeah, I had to watch the movie twice to understand it.
所以说今天他在老师当在看的时候呢，不知道为什么他的那个片子好像坏了，所以他中间有一段没有，然后后来他第二遍看的时候才把东西接起来，好像是在那个小千寻他到了那个澡盆那个地方的时候，突然这边断掉这样子。
Yeah, it went down, and then so they started at a different place. My favorite anime growing up was the first Chilongju, the first Dragon Ball. When he was young. Yes! Oh, it's so funny. It's so good.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like the first Dragon Ball. Okay, you can tell us your favorite anime down in the comments, and let's start paragraph 1. Makoto Shinkai is leading the next generation of Japanese animation.
好，我们来看第一段的第一句话，他就告诉你说 Makoto Shinkai is leading the next generation of Japanese animation. 好，你看这句话里面可以看到说，新海诚呢正带领着the next generation of Japanese animation. 好，就日本它的那个动画的下一个新世代。这边的话可以注意一下 ，animation 是我们平常在英文里面常常使用的。如果你提到 anime， 大部分大家外国人会想到的会是日本他们制作的动画。
Yeah, Japan. Like I said earlier, Japanimation. You have like Japan animation 在一起, but that's kind of an old word. We like to say anime today. Now, pay attention, animation, yo, T-I-O-N 的这位. Let's look at our next sentence here. The animated, ED, the animated films that he has created over the last 20 years are some of the most popular films of all time.
好，我们来看下一句话就说了 the animated films. 所以刚刚我们看到 animation， 对不对？我们把这个 animation 的后面去掉 ion 去掉，加上 ed， 好，就变成 animated， 好，就变成一个形容词。The animated films 就是动画片 that he has created over the last 20 years. 好，他过去20年呢，他所制作的这些动画片呢 ，are some of the most popular films of all time， 是过往以来非常非常脍炙人口、最脍炙人口的几部动画片。他当初呢制作了这20年的话制作了8部的这种动画片啊。那其中的话，相信各位一定听过《你的名字》Kimi no Namae wa， 好，那个话是非常非常有名的一部，大家说是2016年的时候的作品。
So, 2 quick notes. So, just like Anthony said, animation and animated, animation, T-I-O-N, that's your noun. Animated is the adjective. Don't say cartoons here. I like cartoons, but cartoons people feel are only for children. And if you make a movie and you call it a cartoon, people won't take it seriously. That's not fair. So, cartoon is not a good word here. Archie, we have he has created over the last 20 years. That's the present perfect tense. 现在完成时因为是自从之前到现在, so we have that range of time where he made those movies. With that, let's take a break. And when we come back, we have paragraph 2. Hey friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We are talking about our biography lesson, and we are on pages 22 and 23 of your magazine. Make sure you have your pens and highlighters. Our second paragraph begins, Shinkai was born in Nagano Prefecture in 1973.
好，我们来看第二段第一句话，我们再介绍一下新海诚他的成长背景哦。他第一句话就讲说 ，Shinkai was born in Nagano Prefecture in 1973. 他是在1973年的时候呢，出生于长野县。好，长野的这个 prefecture 这个字的话，你一定听过日本有一都一道啊，然后二府43县。这个长野县的话，我在猜你们可能听过 Karuizawa， 就是清景泽，它就在长野县那个地方哦。所以在这边的话，就是提到说，1973年的时候，我们的这个Shinkai，这个新海诚呢，他是出生于长野县。
How do you say this place in Japanese? How does a Japanese person say Nagano?
Nagano.
Okay, so when I was young, there was the Olympics, 奥运 in We said Nagano. So that's how I say it in American English because we had the Nagano Olympics in whatever year it was. So
yeah, 原来如此。OK， 会那个重音会有点不太一样。Nagano Ken， 好，就是那个长野县。
Well, I know you speak Japanese too, so I like to hear the way you say it accurately.
Oh, no, really?
So you should hear the American accent. But let's also hear it the correct way, too. So let's continue to our next sentence. Growing up, he always had an interest in manga and anime.
OK， 再来我们看第二句话，说了 Growing up， 好，一路成长的过程当中呢 ，he always had an interest in manga.And anime， 我们刚刚一直提到的 anime 在这边就出现了哦。他在成长的过程当中呢，他一直都对什么东西很感兴趣呢？对于漫画，日本的漫画啦，还有日本的动画。
So, because we say interested in, I always remind my students, if we have a verb here, what do we need to say? So, 你对漫画，对这个卡通有兴趣的话 if we want to say 读漫画 or 看这个卡通 we need to use a gerund here because interested in 有那个介系词 we need to use a V-I-N-G here. So interested in reading manga and watching anime. Write down your V-I-N-Gs here so you don't forget.
没错，所以在这个 interest had an interest in 的这个介系词后面，如果要做一个动作的话，不要忘记用 V-I-N-G 的形态。在这边的话，你也可以说 had an interest in reading manga and watching anime.
All right, let's continue. After he graduated from university in 1996, he took a job with a video game company.
OK， 来，我们来看这句话说了 After he graduated from university in 1996. 好，这个地方他在1996年的时候呢，他从大学毕业了之后呢 ，he took a job with a video game company。好，他就在这个一家这种电玩的公司。
He worked there for 5 years. Be careful. Please don't say he worked at there for 5 years. Write at and cross it out.
没错，这个地方只要讲 he worked there， 好 there 就好了，那个 at 这个地方就不用接了，对不对？他在那个地方工作了5年。
Let's continue. During this time, he also produced animation on his own.
好，在此同时呢，好 during this time， 在他工作这5年这段期间呢 ，he also produced animation on his own。他自己也独立制作一些动画，一些他自己的作品。
So he's a real artist. This guy loves his art.
没错。
All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we have our next paragraph. Hey friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're on pages 22 and 23. We're talking about Makoto Shinkai, the anime master, and we're starting paragraph 3. In 1999, Shinkai released She and Her Cat, a 5-minute animated film that won a number of awards.
好，再来哦，我们看到的就是新海诚他开始出现崭露头角的这种情况了。他说 ，In 1999， 在1999年，不要忘记了，他1996年他毕业，这个大学毕业之后呢，到1999年这3年这段期间呢，他制作他自己的动画。Shinkai released， 好，他呢出品了 She and Her Cat， 不要忘记我们这个地方用斜体字的表示，代表是一个作品，电影作品哦。他和他的猫，我一听就觉得哦，应该是我喜欢的哈，老师应该也很喜欢，因为他们家有很多猫。
I watched it.
没错。A 5-minute animated film， 它这个呢是一个5分钟的这种短片动画。不要忘记，因为这个 5 minute 它是一个形容词，所以第一个中间要有一个 hyphen 把它连起来。第二个 5， 不过它不会讲5 minutes， 它会讲5 minute， 因为它后面还有东西，还有名词要接，要特别注意。这个5分钟的动画呢，帮助他怎么样 ？That won a number of awards， 帮助他赢得非常非常多的奖项。
Yeah, this is a short video. It's in black and white, and it's a video about a cat and her person, not a person and her cat. So when you watch, the cat is talking about the cat's life. It's quite interesting. It's quite beautiful. I didn't understand some of it. It's in English, but I think maybe it's something you have to watch, or maybe there's a little culture in some of the videos. But it was really quite beautiful. It's a little sad, too. All right, let's continue. As he started making his second short film, Voices of a Distant Star, he received a grant from another company So Shinkai quit his job with video game company and began to work full-time on producing the short film. This is a full sentence with lots of things in it.
没错，这句话很长哦，我们分段的来看哦。我们先看到这边，他说 ，As he started making his second short film， 当呢他开始进行他第二部这个动画短片的制作的时候呢，这个动画短片的名称叫什么 ？Voices of a Distant Star， 好，就是星之声。好，这个星的话是天上的星星，然后声的话是声音的声。Voices of a Distant Star， 好 ，He received a grant。From another company， 那个时候他居然得到了什么？另外一家公司的补助哦。这个 grant 指的是那种补助款、补助金，因为你得了很多奖项，其他人想要赞助你，所以他得了这个补助金之后呢 ，So Shinkai quit his job with video game company， 让他可以有机会可以辞去这家公司的工作。专心的去制作，好，在这里的话 ，and began to work full time on producing short film. The short film 就是指这个新之声的这个，因为当初的话是在后期的阶段，他的工作刚好跟他的这个制作新之声的这种行程相冲突了，所以他必须要做一个抉择。那今天刚好拿到了补助款，于是他就毅然决然的选择自己好好全职做他这个动画的制作。
All right, this is a very long sentence. There's a lot more we could actually say here. For me, I just want to say look at the verb quit. If you make it the continuous tense, or 那个现在分词, be careful. This is Q-U-I-T-T-I-N-G, 写下来. That's a mistake I see a lot. So what are you doing? Oh, I'm quitting this application, this app on my phone. But 好像有问题. So Q-U-I-T-T-I-N-G, 写下来. And I think it's time for another break. And when we come back, we have our final paragraph. Hey friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're on our biography lesson, day 1, and pages are 22 and 23. We're talking about our anime master, Makoto Shinkai. Let's begin the final paragraph. Over the following 10 years, Shinkai produced 2 more short films and 4 feature-length works.
好，我们来看最后一段的第一句话，他说 Over the following 10 years， 接下来这10年呢 ，Shinkai produced 2 more short films， 他另外又创造出了2部这个短片制作 ，and 4 feature-length works。这个 4 feature-length。Feature length 的话，多半是指那种超过90分钟、满90分钟以上的这种动画制作片。那另外还有4部是那种动画长片制作。在这里的话，他讲到10年呢，他又创造了2个短片跟4部的长片。
So you probably know some cartoons from like a long time ago. They're only 10 or 15 minutes. Those actually a long time ago, like Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, those used to be between shorter movies. But today, when you go to the movie theater and you buy a ticket, the movie is always 90 minutes. If you remember the Mario movie from this year, it was 92 minutes. No more. Because that's expensive to make animated films, so they kept it really, really short. Be careful of the word works here. When it takes a long time to finish one thing, like a song, art, or a movie, we call it a work. 它变成一个课数名字。
没错，这个地方老师我没讲话，我也顺便要提一下。
Oh, really?
如果说对，他把我的话讲走了。
We just know what we want to say.
对，如果今天提到的是这种艺术作品、文学作品、音乐作品，任何这种创作的话 ，work 才可以加 s。如果说今天，如果说啊，我今天有好多工作要做 ，I have a lot of work to do， 这个地方是绝对不加 s 的。但如果是指艺术、文学、绘画各种这种作品的话，它才可以加 s 哦。
All right, let's continue here. In 2016, the movie Your Name made him very famous and successful, and critics began to compare him to Spirited Away animator Hayao Miyazaki.
好，现在他告诉你说了，到了2016年，它是他发光发热的一年哦。The movie Your Name， 哈，你的名字这部片子呢 ，made him very famous and successful， 让他声名大噪。好，突然间大家都知道新海诚了。And critics began to compare him to Spirited Away animator Hayao Miyazaki， 大家就开始很多这些评论家啦，就开始把他跟这个很厉害的动画大师宫崎骏，也是创造这个神隐少女的宫崎骏，开始相提并论，甚至很多的媒体都在讲说，他可以是新一代宫崎骏的接班人哦。所以这个地方看到是 compare him to somebody， 就是拿他跟宫崎骏动画大师相比较，或是相比拟这样的感觉。
Shinkai doesn't take his fame seriously, though. This means he doesn't care that he's famous. Like, hi, I'm just a guy that makes movies.
他是一个非常非常谦虚的人哦，所以大家给他很多的评价，他说那都是过誉的评价。我只是一个很热爱动画的人，他非常非常的谦虚。
Yeah, he's very humble, Humble. And with that, we are all out of time at Enjoy English School today. Don't forget to tell us your favorite anime down in those comments. We love to read them. For Enjoy English School, I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Antony.
We'll see you tomorrow with day 2 of our story. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.